Hello everyone, my name is the Governor, and this is a spawn point, spawn system tutorial thing? Yeah, one of those. For Far Cry 3 for fcmaps.net. Now, spawn points. They're a little difficult, aren't they? Especially the spawn system in this game, it doesn't really quite work the way one would expect. Anyways, I'm going to go over everything that I know, and hopefully I clear up any sort of confusion you might have going into it. First off, blue blah blah blah. Ugh. Blue global spawn points. These are only initial spawns. You will never respawn at one of these. And this global spawn point is for Team Deathmatch, Domination, and Transmission, and Firestorm. It's for all of the game modes. You can also place spawn points that are unique to each game mode. So a Team Deathmatch, Domination, Transmission, or Firestorm game mode. Global spawn. Yes, thing. Anyways, the blue global spawn point. You want to place 9 of these. I know the game is only 7v7, but you still need to place 9. So let's do, is that 4? Let's do it like this. There we go. Alright. So, that is one team spawn. One team will spawn there initially, and then they will never respawn at those spawn points. Let's do the same thing for the red team over here on my nice little tutorial map I made in like 5 minutes. Alright. So, the red team will spawn there once. Next, you need to use global shared spawn points. These are the only spawn points that people will respawn at. So let's say you have a higher chance of spawning there. You have a good chance of spawning over here. Maybe I want someone to spawn over at this fountain. Who knows? Please, thank you. Please, thank you. Or maybe over at this building, As with always with spawn points, generally speaking, people will move the direction that you face them. They're more likely to run in a straight line than they are to turn around and move the other direction. So you always want your spawn points placed the direction that you want them to run. Here I want them to run towards that center building, which could be a choke point or a place to capture, or whatever. Anyways, you need 10 spawn points. Let's see, how many do we have? We have 8, so we need a few more. Well, let's see. Maybe some guy can spawn here. Some person can spawn here. And let's just complete the pattern. You also need an ending camera. This is what will happen when it goes to the humiliation or whatever stage, and, things go wrong for someone. Let's place that there. Now, here's a nice little trick. So you see the nice red, green, and blue arrows? To tell which direction your end movie will be facing, press the Y button, change the axis. Now see the green arrow, how it rotates with the camera? Whatever direction that is facing is the direction the movie will be playing. So when the camera comes in, it'll be facing off towards that nice ocean thing. Anyways, that is how global spawn points work. Team Deathmatch, basically the same thing. Domination, you want a point A, you want point B, and let's see. Let's make point C over at the fountain. You want kind of a triangle. I wish there was another point, because then we could do one over here. But there isn't, so we'll not worry about that. Transmission, also fairly simple. We can put one over at the fountain. We can put one here. And this works kind of like Seek and Secure did back in Far Cry Instinct's Predator. You capture one point, hold it, wait for it to expire, and then go and capture another one. You need a total of 4 of these on your map. And I've kind of run out of spots, so I'll put it towards that team. But just to be fair, you can place another one and place it back here. So that is how transmission mode works. And it's the same with the spawn points. They're the same as every other game mode. But if you wanted to, you could make transmission take place in a completely different section of the map. It is really up to you on how you want to do it. Firestorm. This is probably the most confusing game mode spawning-wise. Firestorm is the closest thing we get to a real objective game type. Each team has to defend their 2 Firestorm points, which is these barrels. Then the opposing team has to capture them. Fairly simple stuff. So that would be a good way to do it on a layout like this. Each team has their own little ones. They're not directly in their base. They're not directly at the enemy base. But then the Firestorm radio point comes into play. And this is where it can get a little confusing. What the radio is it's a point you have to capture after initiating the Firestorm. And that's where these nice little green radio spawn points come in. These they override your white global spawn points or shared spawn points. When the radio is active, both teams will start spawning at these green spawn points. So what you want to do is you don't want to place them quite near your radio, but you want to place them kind of equal distance apart from it. Now, I wouldn't exactly say that where I place them is the best spot. I would say maybe more like this and maybe a bit closer. You want them to be that one needs to be a bit farther, but you get the idea. You want the spawn points to be close enough that they can capture the radio and take it from the enemy, but not so close that they spawn on top of it and start capturing it immediately. Also, when in the Firestorm radio mode, the respawn timer is increased to somewhere over 10 seconds. So every time you respawn, you have to wait a little bit to get back into the action. So placing the spawn points correctly will definitely help out. So, let's see. Validation. Everything works. This makes pretty much everything you need for a map to be validated. You just need the exact number of initial spawn points, which is 9, and the exact number of global shared spawn points, which is 10. I have 12 because it would have been weird to only place 2 around here, Anyways, you also need exactly 8 radio spawn points, and I would suggest placing them equal distance from the radio because each team will start spawning on them. I would even space out the spawn points so it's groups of 2, not a whole group of 4. Really, it's entirely up to you on how you want your map to play. I just think that I've seen a few maps misuse the spawn points and the radio beacon, and it really detracts from the gameplay aspect. And it really makes a map that should stand out kind of look sloppy. I really hope this tutorial helped you. There's not really much else to say. I don't want to ramble or anything, which I'm pretty sure I have been, but if you have any questions, just leave a little reply in the FC Maps forum where I post this, and let me know what you want answered, and I'll do my best to give you the information you so desire. So anyways, this has been the Governor for FCMaps.net, and this is a rudimentary spawn point tutorial. Thank you for watching. Bye.